Up, and you won't have anything to give on those later rounds. But honestly, I think it's going to be negative splits as we go through. So you get yourself warmed up, you get into a tempo, and then round after round, gradually pick up your pace. It's like shifting gears in your car, just slowly ramping it up until that final round where you hit that high gear.
The first man through round number 1 in the teal shorts is Pablo Chalfun, the Latin America the assault bike.
Well, I mean, it's less impact. He's not having to bear weight on it, so the bike is one of those things that we use as a rehab tool. Also, with the assault bike, you can use that upper body and you can push and pull, so you can take some of the stress and pressure off the legs if you need to. But the legs is where you draw most of your power from. So it's going to be a slippery slope here.
It's been good at times last night with that hard landing, but thankfully for Paulson, hockey players, they're built pretty tough, and he's still competing.
And then let the bike ride itself out.
So as we go into round number 3, you'll see the name of Con Porter highlighted in blue, as he was the first one through the second round, so he will be the leader. Everybody else will be highlighted in red. On the run, obviously, a little bit harder to track distances, so we will rejoin that scoreboard once we come back into the stadium. But it's Con Porter leading the way. Frederick again.
This now for well over 10 years. I tend to use, especially on a 5-round workout where I know I'm going to have to be breathing heavy for a sustained amount of time, I use the first round, possibly even the second round, to warm up my lungs and get everything where it needs to be, and I get my mind right, and then I can usually pick up the tempo as I go. So I think we're going to start to see these guys, they're suffering, but they're going to pick up the pace.
First two back into the stadium will be Frederick Agidius, and it is time for the final day of competition, and it's time to rev up the engines with the two-stroke pull event number 12 at the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games. Brandon Domain, Rob Orlando, Mike Arsenault with you here in Madison, Wisconsin. And after 3 official days of competition, we get to start it off with this high-intense Con Porter, but Frederick Agidius with the quicker transition will take a slight lead, and his sled will come across that line or reach that line just ahead of Porter. So it's a halfway to the time cap. That should not be an issue for much of the field, especially the leaders, as it continues to be Agidius and Porter leading the way, much like they have really since the opening round.
I think this event is a great test of horsepower, Brandon. It's one of the 10 elements of fitness as defined by Coach Black.
Really bad fall. He pushed himself to complete muscular failure and just couldn't hold on the bar during the chest-to-bar pull-ups. Although it looked like he may have hit his head on the floor, his shoulder actually took the brunt of the fall. His wife is a physical therapist and worked on his forearms last night, and he feels as good as he can be this morning, considering what the athlete's been through so far this week.
Thank you, Mike. And yeah, that was a bit of a scary moment. For the most part, the athletes are going at a consistent pace, but Agidius went very aggressive early on the bike.
And you never know with somebody. Frederick's an experienced athlete. He knows himself really well. Maybe he's got the fuel in the tank that's required to get through this thing. He can try to maintain that pace. On the assault bike, you get rewarded for putting the pedal down really hard. The calories tend to tick away. If you take your body's ability to gather, process, and deliver oxygen, and that's exactly what this event is testing.
Now that could be a big moment. It's a small mistake, but it could cost Con Porter as he went to the wrong bike. And that'll be a couple of seconds there, and Frederick Agidius, who has been given it on the assault bike early on, might be taking advantage of that slight mistake.
A 300-meter run, 20 calories on the assault bike for our men, 44-foot sled pull at 183 pounds with an 18-minute time cap. I don't think we're going to need the time cap. This is going to be really, really long intensive.
We'll have 2 heats, and this first one for the men, it'll be the bottom half of the points leaderboard coming out of day number 3. A couple of names, obviously, to keep an eye on. Josh Bridges, lane number 6. Alex Smith, lane 8. Saxon Panchik, Agidius 1. Porter 2. Elliott Simmons continues to close the gap as he sits in the 3rd position. Two rounds remain. We're still 10 minutes shy of the 18-minute time cap. as they work through this triplet of a 300-meter run, 20 calories on the assault bike, and a 44-foot sled pull, with that sled weighing 183 pounds.
Classman is cardiorespiratory endurance, and that's your...
This weekend, he'll be in lane number 10. Elliott Simmons, a name that came out of the Meridian Regional in lane 14, but one of the athletes you got your eye on in lane 17, powerhouse athlete Royce Dunn.
Out of CrossFit Torian in Bowen Hills, Australia, 6 foot, 224 pounds. He's got the power to put down on the bike to do really well in this event.
And if you don't have power, you might want the engine and the soccer background. Mitchell Stevenson, he'll be in lane 4. As the final day.
In my favor, and I'm a pretty happy puppy.
Congratulations.
So I hope these men were watching.
Lanes 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's where the battle for the lead is going on early here as we enter round number 2. There's Tudor Magda. Magda coming in at 18th place overall, but had his first top 10 finish of the competition last night in the circus.
Magda with a quick drop from the rings, didn't even bother really lowering himself with his body and efficient. And then what we like to see was that he broke up the reps early and often. He mimicked what Tia Claire Toomey did in the last heat to have great success. And he gives the crowd a tremendous amount of not just love, but also energy as he gives us a good flex to finish.
First career event win at the Rogue Invitational for Noah Olson, and he is with Kiki Dixon.
Noah, you retired as an individual, but here we are. What happened?
If you guys are on a cut right now and you're not using Slim Pills, you're making a huge mistake. So if you don't know what Slim Pills are, they're a product we have over here at Enhance, and they're a mixture of ingredients like berberine, chromium, right, that are gonna help to lower blood glucose levels and make you more insulin sensitive, right? What does this mean? Number one, when your blood glucose levels are lower, your health is going to be better. Number two is that you're going to be able to lose fat more efficiently, right? Poor metabolic health essentially means that your body cannot partition nutrients properly. So that meal you eat with the carbs, the fats, and the protein, the carbs and whatnot are going to be more likely to become fat if you're not insulin sensitive and if your blood glucose levels are out of control. So with berberine, with Slim Pills, it's going to make sure that the foods you eat on your cut is going to go straight to the muscle and not become fat. I highly recommend this, guys. That being said, take care and have a good one.